We're delighted to be able to share with you now the announcement and an exclusive public preview of Elisa Alamus. Alamus is Elisa's new entertainment service, which is available on all devices with a hybrid Android TV set-top box at its core. Elisa has succeeded in creating a seamless experience for their customers, managed in real time on all platforms and with a unified UX. Elisa manages the user experience on all devices using 3Ready Control Center. This experience management tool gives Elisa complete control over where and how content is placed, how editorial pages are set up, and how branding is applied to adjust the UX without the need for code changes cross-device. It gives Elisa full control on how content is curated and displayed to customers, managed in real time and without changing any code. Editors can, for example, update content stripes on all devices at once, or they can test new content as well as features targeted at a specific customer segment. The Android TV set-top box is in beta now before launching soon across all Elisa platforms. The set-top box, the cornerstone of the project, will go live first, with all platforms to follow soon after. It includes all Google services and interest-centric discovery for all users. It took an array of dedicated partners to create the service, which was based on scaled agile and 3Ready product framework. You will hear now how Elisa, together with all their partners, managed to create the service during a worldwide pandemic. Over to Brigita, Adam and David to explain more.
Okay, well, hello everybody, and welcome to this interview with Elisa and 3SS. And we're going to discuss how to build a world-class TV platform for all devices during a worldwide pandemic. So my name is David Mercer, and I'm VP of Media and Intelligent Home at Strategy Analytics. And we have with us Brigita Brjuhhanov from Elisa and Adam Nightingale from 3SS. Brigita, would you like to introduce yourself and just describe your role briefly?
Sure. Hi. I'm a team lead of TV developments in Elisa, and most of the project, or all of the project, I have been also the project manager for all of the platforms and everything. And Elisa is a telco in Estonia, and also we have a mother company in Finland. So we could say that we are in the Nordics, although Nordic countries don't want to hear that.
Well, that's a more complicated discussion, but we maybe come back to that another day. Adam?
Hello, good morning. My name's Adam Nightingale. I'm CCO here at 3SS. 3SS, for those who don't know us, we're a TV user experience design, build, and support company. We work mostly with operators and content rights owners and content platform providers around the world to design and build the user experience on any kind of TV platform. Long experience in set-top boxes, but a lot of multi-screen expertise as well that grows out from that. We're based in Europe, but very active across the world.
Okay, thanks very much. Okay, so Brigita, perhaps we could start with you, and it'd be good if you could take us back a couple of years to when you began to work with 3SS. What was your situation at the time, and why did you decide to work with 3SS particularly?
Yeah, I think I need to go back a bit more than a few years. I think roughly 4 or 3 years ago, we started looking for a new platform to build, because our old TV services and devices, they were either end of life or soon to be end of life. And this sets some kind of line between what you can and what you can't do. And we had been looking around, and we had been thinking about doing everything from scratch ourselves and so on. And then we end up in March 2019, and at also the Connected TV Summit. So it's a bit like a birthday party now, because it was 2 and something years ago, where we met again with 3SS during the event. And I think we all clicked. We clicked about doing the same thing together, and we had some kind of like same vision we had met also earlier, but when we met earlier, I think we weren't on the same page yet.
Mm.
And yeah, during CTV, we understood that we could work together and it would be exciting for both of the sides. And I think one of difficult sides for us was that we had to keep our old platforms also working while developing a new one. So everything had to work, plus there would be one more new device and backend.
Yes. So this was March 19, and obviously you had a plan and a roadmap. What did it look like at that point? And talk us through what happened through 2019 and then into early 20.
Yes. So in 2019, around May or beginning of June, we had a really ambitious plan of going live in the autumn of 2020. So in September, in both the best hopes, or October in the worst case. And then we started the project, and as we had to keep alive all of our old platforms and everything had to work with everything together. And we wanted to offer all the different network sites, meaning DVB-C, DVB-T, OTT, IPTV, everything had to work together in one set-top box and in one platform. It was really ambitious plan from the beginning. But then we ended up in 2020, and as we have all seen from different videos, if someone would ask you in 2040, do you remember 2020? Then I think we all go into a shock, and yeah, it was a tough year for all of us. But in March 2020, when everything started closing down, we didn't know yet what would be the impact. And then when the months went by, more and more started closing down. At some point, we had to keep an eye on all the different countries, their COVID situation and lockdowns, and if the factories would be open, if people can work from home. Because in some countries, they weren't ready to work from home. It took several days to even get to sign into meetings and do their work.
So you were coordinating partners, quite a few different countries, I think, India and different parts of Europe.
Yeah.
And, everybody was
True.
affected in different ways at different times. So it must have been very, very complicated.
Yeah, even when we saw that in Europe, the situation was that people could work and exchange packages and do whatever they needed. Then when India went into lockdown, then this was scary for us because we had no idea what would be the impact. And also we had to keep an eye that we would get all the chipsets and all the different parts for set-top boxes. Now we all know that there is a chipset crisis that has been going around, but we already were prepared for that then.
Yes, yes. So Adam, from your point of view, how were things looking? How did you first see the impact of this, and what changes did you have to make?
It's interesting. I think everyone, for the most part, who works in IT is able to some extent to work remotely, and we already had a policy of people being able to work remotely. We have teams already operating across multiple offices, so the ideas and the tools for remote collaboration were already in place. With any customer project, we use lots of shared resources, so we have I guess we're lucky enough to have a methodology that relies on lots of shared tooling anyway. But equally, sending people off home to suddenly start working from a bedroom, a dining table, or wherever was a bit of an impact. But overall, I think it went well. We're spending more money on QA devices, as you'd expect, because we can't have a cupboard with them in the office. We now have to have people's bedrooms full of TVs and phones. But it was a relatively seamless, adaptation in many ways. But as Brigita says, where you're trying to collaborate with partners who kind of literally go dark for a few days and you cannot reach them because they're not in the office and they don't have any capabilities for home working, then you get these natural delays that you can kind of do nothing about. But the nice situation is, with everyone in the same boat, then there's a shared incentive to support and help and get every team back up online quickly as soon as possible, and to be sensible and mature enough to work around those companies and those individuals that can't contribute for a small amount of time. But I think the hardware side was one of the bigger difficulties, and Brigita mentioned a story. I'm thinking about the supermarket story.
Yeah,
that you have that was particularly telling of the kind of creativity that shone through.
yeah. The situation was that we had to exchange a package in one of the countries. I won't name the country just in case. I might say that I mentioned the country before, but we had to exchange a set-top box between two developers, and they weren't allowed to have any packages coming from other countries nor inside the country. So they went into the same supermarket that they could go, I don't know, once a week, or what was the frequency, and between the aisles they exchanged the set-top box. I think it's one of the funniest stories that I will remember from the crazy lockdown period.
Sounds a very cloak and dagger.
Yeah, and also to add Adam's ideas before is that we were so used to planning everything together in one room with a big whiteboard, and you were able to have small discussions, and you could see the emotions of everyone. And then all of a sudden we had to do it online.
Yes.
The first time it was so tiring, and everyone were so knocked down from not seeing what was usually inside the room. But then 3SS and their project managers were really fast to figure out different ideas of what could help them.
Great.
I think the efficiencies that you gain from not having to travel, and from the kind of how tiring that is, you sort of you lose them because it's not as efficient to do something over a webinar, staring at a video camera for a day.
So talk briefly, if you would, about some of the changes you've had to make, and how does the service look compared to what you had previously expected?
I think that in the end it will look as what we expected, but we have had to make some decisions to keep out some features, and to maybe have more of work for having it stable enough and everything working, instead of doing only features. I think that it has made us all think about if something is really that important, or can you have it few months later, because in the end you will give the customer a really good service with all different platforms that will have all the same experience. Doesn't matter if you are on your phone or on your set-top box. I think it's really awesome. And you can be almost anywhere to watch your series that you watched at home.
So what would be an example of something that you've had to leave out, for example?
Yeah, we had a long list of MVP of features, and for example, recordings we had to move. At first we wanted to have them right away, but now we had to move them. Hopefully we will have them by live also.
Okay, good. So I mean, we're coming short of time now. I think when all of us look back on this last 12 months or so, we've obviously all learned a lot and changed a lot of the ways we do things. I mean, from your point of view, I think it'd be interesting for people to understand what lessons you've learned, and to what degree will your operations change in the future as a result of this experience? I mean, Adam, do you want to just quickly address that one?
Yeah, we were talking about this internally on a call this morning. What we're seeing now is that, I think there's been a bit of a cycle. At first, people didn't necessarily want to work from home, and then they quite liked it. But now there's a lot of people who are desperate to get back to the office. And it might be they don't like their dog anymore, or their kids are disruptive, or they just know that it's more fun and more collaborative to be in an office with people. I think what we will see, and our policy will remain, is that people who want to go into the office to work, they can do. Equally, if they want to work from home, they can do that as well. You know, we don't want to push people away from the offices. We have no plans at all to downscale offices. In fact, we're looking at increasing the size of them as the company grows anyway. But we do want to provide the kind of capability and flexibility to provide a workplace where people can be as efficient as they want to be. And the nice thing is what we've seen is that we have a team of people who are efficient wherever you put them. Wherever they put themselves, in fact, whether it's at home, in an office, on a customer site, or from a hammock on a beach somewhere, if they can work from there, then yeah, why not?
Absolutely. Brigita, what's the one thing that you would bring forward as a lesson for future operations?
I think that it was a really crazy roller coaster, but it was one of the best experiences that you could ever have during a global pandemic. And it grew us all a lot as people, as colleagues, as whoever. And I think that we should take away the good parts of pandemic rather than the bad parts.
Yeah,
and we can all work where we want to work.
Okay, so people getting bored for sure. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's fine. So briefly, you're into beta test now, I think. And what's the quick rollout schedule? What were you looking forward to?
Yeah, we started rolling out with setup boxes for beta customers, and when we go live, then they will get all the different platforms, mobile apps, Android, iOS, and also different TV apps, and yeah, Android TV app also.
Okay, and that's happening now, and good.
Yeah, when we go live, then they will get all the different platforms for them.
All right, exciting. All right, well, listen, thanks very much for a great discussion, and we wish you all the best with the rollout of the new service. Thank you.